It's been an interesting 9 months. We were Roambee in January. We are Decklar today. Um, 4 continents, 53 chief supply chain officer meetings, um, all Fortune 500, Global 2000 companies. And in all these meetings and briefings, um, I saw a pattern which was a mindset shift, and and it was around what the new supply chain ecosystem or the mandate would look like. Whether these companies I spoke to were in the chemical industry, some of them were in pharmaceuticals, in CPG, and the feedback was consistent with the pattern that we have derived. Um, the old school of doing things is going to shift. Um, System of records, meaning you have your ERP, your warehouse management system, your yard management system, and many other supply chain applications that form your supply chain tech stack today, um, are going to be driven or migrated towards the system of action stack. The system of action stack, as you see on this slide here, Charlotte, um, will basically be more towards decision making and actionability. And every customer I talked to wanted to embrace the AI in the supply chain, but not at the cost of losing manpower. They wanted to automate processes. They wanted to integrate disparate systems together, but they actually also wanted to derive meaningful, actionable insights and foresights within weeks. Something that they have been struggling with, whether it's on the revenue forecasting side, or whether it's on a replenishment planning side, or just looking at procurement, or looking at automating goods receipt, and many of these functional aspects that a system of record, kind of a tech stack, was partially capable of. Next slide, please. And in these discussions, we also learned that the days of dashboard and reports are over. Customers are looking for deriving decisions and deriving business outcome from various data feeds, not just shipments that are used using sensors to track, but also shipments that are going through a courier network, shipments that are moving through ocean or air or land, shipments that are getting delivered through a multi-stop delivery framework. It comes back to basically, is visibility good enough? And if visibility is real time, what more we can do with those visibility information? And that leads to these discussions that I've had where, on the table we also had chief procurement officers and many others, and consistently we think that the future is where the decision will be derived from the system action platforms. We think procurement, rightly so, would position ROI as a central theme to any purchasing decisions, or any of those change in supply chain technology stack decisions. At the very end, Charlotte, if you it's like, our thinking is decision AI will drive a lot of these business operations and automations. And the one thing that we have heard consistently with all of these customers is, Decklar, can you make us cost neutral? What I mean by that is customers are willing to invest in modernizing their supply chain technology, automate their processes, but at some point they feel that AI should start delivering against the cost and the investments they have made. And we are sort of at a cusp of where modern technology, real-time outcomes, ROI-driven value levers are all coming together. Um, Charlotte, we also feel that AI will flatten features, right? Many of us has lived in an era where platforms are feature driven, largely compartmentalized based on the flavor or the t-shirt size that enterprise customers are used to purchasing. We think features are going to be created on the fly and customized for each of the customers using AI. Something that we have embraced and brought it in our agentic platform that allows us to basically address the requirements in a very tailored fashion. Um, Whether it's proof of delivery for a pharmaceutical company will be very different than a chemical company, will be different for a food and beverages company, and we think that with AI, we will be able to compress this time to deliver functionality, and we will be able to, address the or mimic the processes of our customers very, very closely. And when you look at from a uh, tech stack perspective, data will play a very big role. We are seeing for the first time AI being used to bring data feeds together, something that we are seeing in the ocean use case. Um, Port data, vessel data, weather data, traffic data, um, data from sensors that are affixed on containers, um, data from vessels, and just macro risk data surrounding supply chain for the first time is coming together. Data depth becomes very important. We also see AI playing a big role in contextualizing this data. So one is data collection, data cleaning, data scrubbing, but can we contextualize this data for a specific persona within an enterprise? So if you're a warehouse operator or a manager, compared to if you are a demand forecasting planner, compared to you are a chief supply chain officer, this data gets conceptualized for consumption, including deriving behavior and modes for decision making. And last but not the least is basically what level of automation should decision AI take, right? So we have seen and experiencing, in the customers that we have, the ability to automate parts of these decision AI responses. And the right set would be, take a look at Control Tower, which is very human powered center of monitoring for all things happening in your supply chain. And we think that with the ability to automate some of these processes or tasks or activities in a control tower framework is like right the sweet spot for AI and AI related applications.